congratulations with the gift.
Listen to music ad-free. YouTube Music Premium. Start a 1-month free trial.
Hey, who that? Faggot number one, is that you? Running late. Or is that somebody I know? Say what up. Hey, question for your mind real quick. Is this true? Are people that you help, most of the enemies that you have are people that you helped once in real life. If that's true, when the fuck did I help you out? fucks that asked me how to stream, but then became too scared to do it. Just a question. Shit, you just can't help but to cling to my balls, get lit in life. Wishing you had a head, wishing you had a wife. Seen the one I got, you wish you had her on the spot. Dressed in Victoria's Secret, not. You You got your hand in your mama upstairs. I'm really aware. You got a bitch that you pulled off the city that look like alien wear. Now where we supposed to be with it? See, I'm so slick fitted, GQ custom kitted. Probably wanna keep me away from your sister because you know your mom would admit it. I'm the bomb in under a minute of observation by your bitch. You an insecure ass nigga. I light you up, put you in a chair, throw the
Listen to music
switch.
offline. YouTube
Beat the
Music
shit out of you
Start
right
a
in
1 month
front of
free
your
trial.
bitch. But you ain't got that. So let me fall back. He like, oh, he fired it up. But it's still his dick you interested in. He said, but it's still his dick you interested to suck. That's how I figured. Where's your bitch? So she can get a look at that nigga. My trigger. Block 19. Plus the 22. There's something to hold this phone. Count with them. If I ain't going round for round with them. Have you ever asked yourself why you so obsessed with my dick? It's in vogue, man. Never gonna get it. No matter how much time you spend looking at it. No, you're never gonna get it. Just get yourself something to drink. Force yourself to do something besides D-Rod. Okay. There. She's connected. So you know what?
Adding mode.
Mavic Air 2 features 4 hyperlapse modes: free, circle, course lock, and waypoint. Each mode performs a different flight trajectory and lens angle to satisfy your creative requirements for a variety of scenarios. When framing the shot, do not position Mavic Air 2 too close to the foreground, or your footage may be unstable. After framing your composition, tap Hyperlapse. Tap Free. Then set the photo interval, video length, and maximum flight speed, and the aircraft will automatically calculate the required shooting time. Tap the button on the right side of the screen to start recording. When shooting in free mode, you can control the aircraft's attitude and the gimbal's tilt angle. Circle mode allows the aircraft to circle your subject while shooting a video. Tap Circle. Then set the photo interval, video length, flight speed, and direction of the circle. After selecting your target, tap the button on the right side of the screen. The aircraft will automatically calculate and plan the flight route, and then begin recording. In course lock mode, after locking the orientation, the aircraft will fly in the direction it is facing. After selecting your subject, tap the button on the right side of the screen. The aircraft will follow the subject while shooting. Regardless of the way Mavic Air 2 is facing, the aircraft will fly straight in the set direction. Even if you don't select a subject, the aircraft will fly straight in the set direction and shoot a perfect course lock video. Waypoint Hyperlapse. In waypoint mode, the aircraft automatically flies and records along a preset route. Tap Waypoint and fly the drone to a designated location. Change the aircraft's yaw angle and gimbal's tilt angle to capture different perspectives. Tap the button on the right side of the screen. Then, the aircraft will automatically calculate and plan the flight route and begin recording. After shooting is finished, Mavic Air 2 will automatically compose a hyperlapse video for you. You can check the video by tapping the playback button. You can also edit the video with the edit function at the bottom right. Don't forget to Focus Track is an incredible intelligent mode that allows you to fully unleash your creativity with Mavic Air 2. In this video, we go over how to use Spotlight, Active Track, Point of Interest. Note, before enabling Focus Track, make sure the flying environment is clear and free of obstacles. Focus Track supports 3 flight modes, and we'll introduce how to use each one. First, take off and hover at an appropriate altitude. Focus Track is enabled by default. When you enter camera after the target subject is locked, you can select a Focus Track mode. Have your subject wave their arms facing Mavic Air 2, and the camera will automatically recognize and frame the subject. Or simply tap on or frame the subject. Tap the Shutter Record button in the app or on the remote control to start shooting photos or recording videos. You can operate the control sticks to adjust the distance between Mavic Air 2 and the subject. Adjust the composition with the gimbal dial or left control stick. Active Track, which includes 2 modes, track and parallel. Manually tap or frame the subject on the screen after selecting track. The aircraft will track the subject at a consistent distance. Tap the Shutter Record button in the app or on the remote control to take a photo or start recording a video. During flight, Mavic Air 2 automatically detects the distance from the aircraft to obstacles in front of and behind it. And if Mavic Air 2 loses track of the subject, as it will just hover in place. After you have your subject selected and ready to go, after selecting parallel mode, Mavic Air 2 will track the subject at a constant angle and distance from the side. Tap the shutter record button in the app or on the remote controller to take a photo or start recording a video. If the aircraft loses track of the subject, it will simply hover in place. Start off by having Mavic Air 2 hover at an appropriate altitude. Simply tap on or frame the subject. Select the POI icon. Set the flight direction and speed. The aircraft will fly around the subject according to the set flight direction and the current flight altitude. Tap the shutter record button in the app or the remote controller to start shooting photos or recording videos. While flying, just tap stop or press the RTH button on the remote controller, and Mavic Air 2 will exit focus track. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if this tutorial was helpful. If you need any support with your DJI gear, feel free to contact us via Facebook Messenger by following the link in the description. Thank you for watching. Mavic Air 2 features 4 hyperlapse modes. Free,
your personal guide to the world of hip-hop. Get a free trial of YouTube Music Premium today.
Hey Siri, what do I do when I don't have credits?
Okay, I found this on the web. For what do I do when I don't have credits? Wow.
Glad to have you here. Well, the House moves for impeachment today. And where will the Capitol Police, when were they or were they told to stand down and allow this thing to unfold? Did the White House actually stop efforts to get the National Guard involved? Got the new evidence this morning on that. Plus, rioters have found themselves on the no-fly list without due process across the country, crying in airports. We'll show you those videos, and we'll have a deep discussion about it this morning. Also on the show today, stimulus moves along. Bernie Sanders has a plan for leveraging this stimulus. How can we leverage what's been unfolding with the Trump administration to get meaningful stimulus through to the American people? We'll hear from the senator. Also, Michael Moore, rattling a few cages, says more attacks are coming and issued a really ominous warning. We'll play you some of that this morning. And will Trump be able to build a media empire after he leaves office? Of course, I've been talking about the idea of Trump television, this idea that he's going to create this massive media empire. That was his goal all along. Well, boy, has that hit an entire roadblock. Now that all of these major tech giants are saying, sorry, bye-bye, Is he going to be able to do that? We'll tell you what his plans could look like on the show today. I am here. Grover's here. Grover, I think he's responsible for this, and I want to get to the bottom of that. Set up Grover Cam over here. You can see my feet in the background there, and I'm going to show you this. So I think Grover's responsible. I'm going to pull this in here if I can find it. David's in the control booth as well. Nice to see you this morning.
You as well.
Our producer, our esteemed producer. Where the heck is that photo? Why is this not working? So odd. There we go. Is that going to work? I don't know what's going to happen here, but anyway, I was going to show you a picture. I have one slipper on. My feet are freezing. I've got one slipper, one sock, because I cannot for the life of me. I've been looking for it for like a couple days now, and I think that it's his fault. I think it's this guy's fault, and I don't know where he would have hid this slipper. He thinks it's like a chew toy, and I'm blaming him. Look at the guilt. Look at the guilt on that face. I just can't find it anywhere. I've looked under couches. It's like, where does that go? Remember like Jerry Seinfeld doing the routine about the socks? You know? Like, how? You put 2 socks in the washing machine. How does only one come out? Where does it go? Is it like clutching the side of the washing machine? Like, so you can't get them out? I don't know where the slipper is.
He's like, I'm only going to listen to you with one ear. I'm giving you the minimal amount of my attention.
This is like the dog's way of giving you the middle finger. Giving you one ear. Giving you one ear, buddy. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I think he did steal my slipper. But he goes to the kids' rooms often while they're at school, and he grabs like some of their stuffed animals and runs out, and I look over, and he's like destroying, you know, like Eve's unicorn stuffed animal or something. No bueno. Oh boy. Jacqueline Juno says, thank you. You think you have it bad? My cats take my slippers every morning. What can we do about this? It's a tyranny. Jacqueline, what can we do? John Shanks, good morning to you. Thank you for your super chat. Clayton, if Trump is prosecuted for the mob scene at the Capitol, how many charges could he be facing? Boy, I mean, you know, Bernie Sanders brings up a great point about what possible impeachment charges could be brought. I mean, he's specifically even talking about the phone call to the Georgia Secretary of State demanding that they find 12,000 votes. That's even before the Capitol insurrection. And the people that want to sort of downplay this, you know, downplay this idea, when you have these people that were showing up with zip ties and Molotov cocktails and pipe bombs and ammunition and said that they were going to put a bullet through Nancy Pelosi's head, hang Mike Pence, I mean, the list goes on, and then you beat to death a police officer, you know, trash all of these members of the media, their cameras, throw them down, push them down, stomp to death a poor person. So Michael Moore has an ominous message about all of this, and we'll talk about it. Darlene Kleiss, nice to see my dog sits in front of me and chews up my shoes all the time. See? They just don't want us to leave the house. I'm convinced of it. Maybe that's what it is.
How's your dad doing? People are asking.
Thank you for asking. Yeah, my dad, who has, he's in the hospital with COVID. He wasn't really eating, and I'm wondering, well, he had the stroke back in December 18th. So cognitively, it's hard for him to put a few words together. And he hadn't really been eating the other day. So I had to call, and he wasn't also taking his medicine, so I had to call and be the son who puts his foot down, and it's like, Dad, the nurses said you're not eating. Please. So, yeah, thank you for that. I mean, they're doing blood, you know, with the COVID now, they're doing blood tests to, testing his blood for oxygen and all that stuff, and he's been fine on that front, and he hasn't been feverish, but the doctor said that could come, so he's had it now for almost a week, I think. It's crazy. I mean, it just affects everyone differently. My dad's 86, and he's like asymptomatic, basically. They only found it through because they test him regularly, but he got it while he was in the hospital. Thank you, Dolly Lord. I appreciate it. Thank you, Curtis. He's a strong guy. He's a veteran. Bonnie, your mom has had COVID for 2 weeks now? Jeez, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope everyone is doing well on this Monday. If you're just joining us, we are going to be talking about the very latest on the stimulus front, the moves for impeachment today, coming from the House of Representatives. We've got the latest video evidence that's pretty shocking this morning. I will show you that. We're going to be looking at people being added to the no-fly lists also. And these people who went to the Capitol building, by the way, were added to the no-fly list on their way home and sort of freaking out at airports, and we're going to have an interesting discussion on that, I bet, on the show today. I can get this one video element in. I'm missing one thing. Morning over on Twitch, morning on Facebook. You guys can hear me okay, right? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up just by smashing that like button. That lets us know that you can hear us okay. Sorry, I'm just getting one more little video element here I want. Start the show in about a minute. So David went up to get a new puppy. How did that go?
Great. We went up and met a little Pomeranian girl puppy, and we put a deposit down, and we will be picking her up in 3 weeks. And we think her name's going to be Jazz. Since Dizzy is named after Dizzy Gillespie, so we want to stick with that motif.
Wow.
Jazz. And it's good. It's a very easy...
King Boss, what up?
Right?
Welcome
One
back.
Jazz. One
Dizzy and
syllable,
Jazz.
right? And it's easier... It is easy for the dogs to pay attention to, right?
Exactly.
We got to do a debate because my son's name is Miles. Like Miles Davis, right? And so we've gotten in a big debate. Is it 2 syllables or 1? I say it's 1. Miles. But others are Miles.
I think it's 1 too.
They getting a Pomeranian and they're gonna name it Jazz.
The New Year's Super Sale at Furniture Row has been extended, so there's still time to find your perfect new look. And best of all, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, plus 5 years no interest and free shipping. But hurry, the extended New Year's Super Sale at Furniture Row ends soon.
And not much, man. Just chilling. How about yourself? What you up to?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Morning Invest on this Monday. Hope you had a relaxing weekend in part. If you could, stayed inside. It is freezing outside, so I hope you guys are cuddled up this morning, got a cup of coffee, cup of tea, as we dive into the day's news. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing to the channel and joining us here. On the show today, we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders' plan for stimulus, now that it seems that this $2,000 stimulus plan has hit a wall, thanks to Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. We're going to talk about impeachment because the House of Representatives moves forward with impeachment today. They have a two-pronged approach, the 25th Amendment or impeachment if Vice President Mike Pence doesn't move forward with that on the 25th Amendment side. Rioters have found themselves in a lot of trouble as they went back to the airport on their way out of Washington, D.C. We're going to show you some crime video of one of these protesters.
Just got on the morning digest, so I'm just catching up on that.
Really a broader discussion about what authorities knew and what they didn't know. There's been some accusations this morning leveled from the head of police. But guess what? They were told to stand down. They asked for help and didn't receive it.
This is what I want to hear about. The Capitol Police.
Interesting.
Standing down,
President Trump
giving a command for people to be allowed into the Capitol.
Of course not if he's behind bars, but will he be able to do it using conventional routes? Will he get the benefit of using Comcast cable or internet service providers or any of those things? I'm going to tell you about his uphill battle to build a media empire once he gets out of office. We've got a lot to get to on the show today, but first I want to tell you about our show sponsors, our good friends over at Stamps.com. So why in the world would you want to go to the post office? Like, is there ever a reason to go to the post office? They bring the services of the U.S. Postal Service right
Black
to
Asian Florida Scorpions,
right to your computer, wherever you are. Stamps.com is a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending out invoices or you're an online seller shipping out orders. Simply use your computer to print out U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Your mail is ready. So, and guess what? You're going to get a free digital scale. Now, see here at the top of the screen when you go to Stamps.com, there's a microphone up here, right at the very top of the screen. Click on that and put the code INVEST in the when you log in there. Put the code INVEST. You get a free digital scale.
They all sleeping.
If you use that promo
They both sleeping.
Also, you get a
They're hidden.
trial of free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contract. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, type in INVEST. Again, Stamps.com, promo code INVEST.
That's what me and my lady put together on stream the other day.
Year that you stop wasting time going to the post office and use Stamps.com instead. This is something we use around our office. It's fantastic, and you're going to save a whole bunch of money on normal postage for your family or your small business. So our thanks to them. All right, let's get to the news this morning because we've got a lot to get to. Well, the House of Representatives is moving towards impeachment today. I think that's where we should start this show. Now, Mike Pence. So how this exactly is going to work is that Nancy Pelosi is going to float the idea of full-on impeachment resolution in the House of Representatives. But first, she wants to give Mike Pence the opportunity, she says, late Sunday night, that Mike Pence would enact the 25th Amendment. Now, he says he's not ruled out the effort. Mike Pence is saying he's not ruling out the effort to invoke the 25th Amendment, and he wants to preserve this option in case Donald Trump goes off the reservation again, becomes more unstable. This is according to sources close to the vice president. They said that there is some concern inside Pence's team, though, that there are risks to invoking the 25th Amendment or even to an impeachment process. They say Trump could lash out, take some sort of rash action, putting the nation at risk. And as of last night, Trump and Pence still have not spoken since Wednesday. I mean, just, again, wrap your head around this. Last night we reported they still hadn't spoken. They still have not spoken. The Vice President of the United States and the President of the United States haven't spoken since Wednesday.
That's crazy.
And many people are reporting, of course, that Mike Pence was the one who got the National Guard to finally show up. While the White House was doing nothing. Remember, 5 people died, including a Capitol Hill police officer who was beat to death with a fire hydrant. The president has not made any public comments denouncing the death threats that have been posted on social media targeting Mike Pence. Or this, by the way, this is, listen to your screen, this is as they set up the gallows outside, and they are all chanting, "Let's hang Mike Pence."
You're not a dish. You're a man. Most name brand bars and body washes you rub on.
I'm sorry, you haven't called him?
Nah, I don't like
If
snakes.
my mom gets sick or something, like I'm gonna call her.
I'm not good with snakes.
You got the flu?
Snakes or spiders.
How you feeling?
I just like the scorpions because they glow.
An angry mob storms the Capitol and wants to get Mike Pence.
Another streamer on here, Canadian guy, eight-legged critter. him and his lady, he had snakes and he had fucking everything. But he showed one of his scorpions, and then he put the black light on it, and I saw that it glowed, and I had learned that. I didn't even really know. I had forgot. And I was like, ooh, that would be cool. You know, they don't jump, they don't crawl on the wall or up the glass. It'd be a cool thing to have, so I went with that about 4 years back. But snakes now. Snakes, spiders. Not for me.
Hang him. So Mike Pence, according to his sources, has finally got a glimpse of President Trump's vindictiveness. According to one source, said the President of the United States, you're now seeing it for the first time.
How about you? You got any?
That Trump is angry at Pence, and Pence is disappointed and saddened by Trump. But, I mean, what do you think? Trump put Pence in, of course, an impossible position, asking him to overturn election results during the joint session on Congress. And then, of course, when Mike Pence explained that he couldn't do it, and then he sent a letter to Congress saying he's going to follow the Constitution, then Trump, took to the rally and said, I'm hearing some bad things. Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for me and the good of our Constitution. And if you're not, I'm going to be very, very disappointed in you. He said, I'm not hearing good stories. Aides to Pence at this hour still outraged that he hasn't checked in on Pence after this.
Historic day.
America first! 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 Let's go!
Oh, yeah?
Just say we love him. We love him, bro. No, he'll be happy. What do you mean? We're fighting for Trump.
I saw some baby snakes when I went to pick up the divider. And for a moment there, I was like, ooh, they look cool. You know, I could deal with baby snakes. But then I thought about the fact that, they're going to grow up. And I don't like big snakes.
Hey, hold it. I can't get an outside line. I can call the U.S. Senate, apparently. Okay?
But that's what's up.
So,
I'm sure that takes a lot of focus.
Arrested. Most of the 120 so far who've been arrested or identified the Capitol riot were longtime Trump supporters, according to the AP analysis. Most of the
Does he breed poisonous snakes?
Arrested in connection or identified as being the Capitol riot through photos
or
videos
non-poisonous
longtime supporters of President Trump. They went through and found, by corroborating posts on their social media and just throwing their support behind President Trump. No surprise. And the real question this morning, of course, as we continue to pull back this onion, is that this whole thing was planned. We know that now. The planning for Wednesday's assault on the Capitol happened largely in plain view. It happened with chatter in right-wing forums, explicitly discussing how to storm the building. They talked about where to buy zip ties, they were going to handcuff the lawmakers, hold them hostage. And they were going to disrupt the certification of Biden's election. And the way that they said it online was, we are responding to President Trump, who called on us to go and do it.
Oh, Python snakes.
So far, this hasn't even really been reported. There was angry talk about, throughout Washington, Trump supporters exchanged detailed tactical advice about what to bring and what to do once they assembled at the Capitol building, according to reports. They were going to do what was called citizens' arrests.
Right.
They were going to take members of Congress and conduct citizens' arrest. One poster on one of these forums said, these effing zip ties, he said, screw them, I'm bringing rope. And they did. They brought nooses. And a gallows. And this had been going on as early as, mid-December.
We're living in crazy times.
And they weren't confined to the dark web either. They were actually scooped up and cataloged by researchers who made their findings public weeks before. So this Capitol Police force that seemed like they were just overrun by thousands of rioters, they're like, where did these people come from? We didn't know they were coming. Even members of the Senate, like Joe Manchin, said in an interview, we knew that this was happening, so I didn't bring my normal amount of staff that day. I just brought my my main advisor dude. That was it. We left everyone else home.
9/11.
And 5 people were dead. So the question left unanswered is, why didn't authorities prepare more effectively for a storm? That, you know, look, the FBI does this on a regular basis, right? They pay attention to this stuff online. They're able to swoop in. Remember what happened in Portland? They were to stop a terrorist attack in Portland because they were tracking these guys. So all of this was happening in these online forums and no one did anything? Especially when these people who are planning this assault were so open about their intentions.
Oh,
I mean, they were calling it storm and occupy Congress, using handcuffs, zip ties.
a chameleon.
Plans being laid out in these public forums. And of course, we also know. Think about when was David? Do you remember when was the plot to overthrow the?
There's a few of them. There's a few different lizards that change colors.
Well,
chameleon, and then there's another one too.
They were trying to get Governor Granholm, and President Trump was like.
My daughter wanted one of those.
That was like what, October?
I believe so.
So we already knew that these things were unfolding.
They're like super.
And it's really just mind-boggling that the police were not
sensitive and fragile.
So what's going on here? Well, according to reports this morning, the outgoing Capitol Police Chief is accusing the House Senate security officials of hindering efforts. This, according to he told the Washington Post this. This is Capitol Police Chief who resigned on Friday. He said that multiple efforts were hindered during the Capitol riots to call the National Guard by the House and the Senate security officials. In an interview published Sunday night, they asked the House and security officials in the days before Congress was set to count the Electoral College votes, they requested the D.C. National Guard to be on standby. But the Capitol Police Chief told the newspaper that officials denied that request.
Are you playing any musical instruments?
He said the House Sergeant-at-Arms, Paul Irving, said he wasn't comfortable with the optics of declaring an emergency ahead of the protests. And the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, Michael Stenger, who was also resigned,
you play any musical instruments?
To informally request the Guard to be ready for last Wednesday. He said his request at the head of the riots ended up being the first of 6 times that his calls for assistance would be denied or postponed.
Yeah, I did
he
too.
said if we had the National Guard, we could have held them at bay longer until more officers from our partner agencies could arrive.
One of my scorpions I bought
finally
from
arrived.
the pet shop.
Started like at 2 o'clock.
The other one I ordered online.
5:30.
Backwater reptiles.
Pentagon officials said that the D.C. police, the Capitol Police, didn't request National Guard ahead of the protest. So someone's lying. Who's lying here?
I got my scorpion through the mail.
Who's lying? Who do you think in the chat is lying?
Yeah, same here.
We knew well ahead of time that this was going to happen. Well ahead of time. This is no shock to anybody that this was going to unfold.
Hello! Hello, U.S. Senate. Yes, we have a fraudulent election. I would like to report. Yeah, we need to get our boy Donald J. Trump into office. Yeah, can we do that real quick? Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's go. And it's yoga season. Yoga season. Let's go. Okay. America first is inevitable. Let's go. Fuck globalists. Let's go.
Yes. Nev.
And this is not the first of these incidents that are coming. Michael Moore issued a statement. He believes that this is just the first of many that are going to be coming. He issued this ominous warning this weekend, and I want to play it for you. And
where you at? On break at work?
Things that he's worried about.
I was going to wait and do this tomorrow, but the sense of urgency I have about what I think is going on.
Yes, most definitely. This is the man cave.
Wednesday was not the end.
/ smoke lounge.
Of what we're going to be dealing with between now and Inauguration Day. In the last couple of days, there have been posters plastered all over Washington, D.C. and across many of our state capitals calling for an armed march, an armed march, a march where you come with your guns. A march on the Capitol in D.C.
We're still arranging shit in here, but
and I don't really want to get any.
Everything is man cave art based in here.
I'm just gonna say it's
right down to the baby Jordans.
During inauguration week. And they're calling upon all patriots to march on the U.S. Capitol and on all 50 state capitals with guns and take back our country. I was first shown this poster that they created. It's been now over 2 days. And it was given to me by actually 2 members of Congress, shared it with me, and I'm very frightened about what may be happening in the next week and a half. And we all discussed whether or not we should post it. I posted it on my Instagram finally today, and Instagram took it down. They don't want to promote this potentially violent march.
Nah, yours is still at the store. This one's mine.
I think it's important that you, the public, know about it. I've been watching the news here today. I don't see a whole lot of mention of it. They're certainly not showing the poster.
You know who that is?
Plastered all over the country.
I haven't seen it.
Wasted. You know who that is?
I haven't seen
the word. He could give you the word.
All I've seen is them saying that Joe Biden plans to attend the inauguration and he will be on the Capitol steps, as all inaugurations have been held. He plans to be there on Capitol steps. That's all I've seen. That's the only coverage I've seen.
And all over online. But that's the
Rakim.
So I thought that I wanted to do 2 things tonight, and I'll try to
God
take
himself.
Too much time right here. One is to alert you to what I think is going to be happening. And the second thing is I want to talk about how Wednesday happened, so that we can learn from that, we'll learn quickly from that, so that perhaps we can avoid some of what's going to go in the next 10 or 11 days. Now, I'm not doing this because I don't want to scare you. I've received a lot of mail from all of you this week, and a lot of posts on social media about how depressed and despondent and horrified we are. And of course, if we are stuck in that place, it's very hard to
Got to point out the Space Invaders.
beat back
The whole couch here. We got the Space Invaders. Zero gravity recliner. Chilling.
That they've noticed an uprising in a number of dangerous tweets about.
If everything goes right,
perhaps on the 17th.
The next man cave will be twice as big as
and coming together to take back the Capitol again. So this is, I mean, they're out there asking for this. What is the federal government going to do about it? The FBI, I guess, set up their own website to be able to go after this. And so far, again, 120 people arrested or identified, charged. And people who were leaving the Capitol on their way back to their home were met with pretty stunning moments here. I want you to watch this amazing footage inside of the airport where this guy is trying to fly home.
I've been meaning to do that forever.
Most of these people had flights, by the way. Like, they
just was
in
looking
DC,
at it today,
they
like,
went to the riot, they went to the
starting to
Capitol,
curl.
presumably. They were in the Capitol, trashing the Capitol, and then they tried to fly
I've had
back
this
home.
for.
And here is what one guy found out when he went to the desk to check in for his flight.
I love every single one of you.
17 years.
But this is what they do to us. They kick me off this plane. They call me a fucking terrorist. And they want to fucking ruin my life.
Sir, calm down. I was just going to Dr. Dale's desk earlier.
So this guy was told he's on the no-fly list, can't fly.
That's the worst.
My question on all of this, when I saw this last night,
You
I
haven't
thought,
committed
on the
a
one hand,
crime
I
and
wanna
you can't
have a
fly?
conversation about this, because on the one hand, I think,
I mean,
the
the country's
immediate thing
looking
to
at
say
you
is,
like a old
like,
terrorist.
oh, poor guy, right? He flies in, goes, and he's part of a riot at the Capitol. Storms the Capitol, smashes stuff, and then he thinks he's going to get on a flight and go back home.
Right.
That's one reaction, right? The other reaction is, well, okay, if you're on a no-fly list, like, where's the due process? Like, why are you on a no-fly list? Has he been charged with anything?
Right, and how? And where's the proof that he was the guy that they saw in there anyway? Like, there's no, like you're saying, there's no due process, there's no investigation. Like, hey, we saw you. Like, was he outside? Was he inside? Like,
no, 2004.
Yeah, were you inside? Were you outside? If you were inside, then why haven't you been charged? How are you then on a no-fly list? Did they identify you? So
Tuesday, April 27th, 2004.
You know, I got into a little Twitter discussion last night about this, and a couple of my friends were sort of jubilant about this, posting this, and I said, well, wait a second, do you remember after 9/11 when so many Muslim Americans
almost 20 years ago
list had no connection whatsoever to 9/11?
Anwar al-Awlaki.
17 years ago.
And he was assassinated with no due process.
So we should be, I think it's very easy to be jubilant about, like, these guys, on the one hand, right? Any of these guys who smashed things up, I hope they get arrested. I hope they get prosecuted. But in light of that, you're going to take away their civil liberties to fly, but you're not going to charge them with anything? Or is that coming? At what point? But I guess my bigger question is, if you're so quick to be able to put these guys on a no-fly list, where the hell were you when they were flying to Washington, D.C.? Right? Like, you knew this was coming.
No.
You knew these people were arming themselves, flying to the Capitol. So now you're very quick you identify these people. They go to the airport, and suddenly they're like, what? I can't fly. Now I'm on a no-fly list. Why didn't they have this? Why weren't they added to this list 4 days ago?
When the thing
something's going on here.
The thing that frustrates me is that people's reaction is immediately like, F that guy, we don't want anything to do with that guy. You remember the Monty Python scene where they're saying that woman's a witch? She's a witch, throw her in the water, see if she... It's like, people burn her. They just have this reaction like, this person is automatically bad because somebody said he was bad because he was possibly at this thing. But people need to allow due process as well. Saying you don't want anything to do with that guy, you don't want to sit next to that guy on a plane, you don't know this guy. We don't know that he was there. Like, it's like they have to provide no evidence to us that anything like that person was there, yet, there he is on a no-fly list. I mean, imagine that has happened to innocent people. Innocent people have been put on the do not fly list many, many times, and we just assume because they're on there. Just like if you see a cop come and arrest somebody, you're just assuming they're guilty and that they're a criminal. And some people's lives are ruined, even though they eventually get found innocent, because they're judged by the public.
Exactly. And think about, even remember Senator Ted Kennedy was famously put on the no-fly list? And he called for an investigation. He's like, how in the world, is a sitting senator of the United States randomly placed on this no-fly list? Progressive Vet here in our chat says, what do you say here? He or she, no-fly list has never had due process. Glad to see that the FBI has started to take domestic terrorism real. They've been ignoring it for years. Yeah, suddenly they're paying attention to it. We're so concerned about brown people coming from the Middle East. Right? We're so concerned about erecting border walls. But all of the terrorism that we face in the United States, almost all of it is domestic terrorism. All of it. I mean, go back to Timothy McVeigh. Go back to the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. I mean, look what just happened up in Wisconsin a few weeks ago, right? The guy went on a shooting spree. I mean, this happens constantly, domestically. And what are we doing to stop it? Well, our money goes overseas. We care more about that. So now we're finally putting these people on a no-fly list. And we get these tears. He's crying. He's upset. He can't believe it. I just took part in this protest, and they're ruining my life.
I love every single one of you. But this is what they do to us. They kick me off the plane. They call me a fucking terrorist. And they want to fucking ruin my life.
Everybody's responsible for their own actions, man.
Love that everyone gets out their cell phone. Like, look at that guy. Say, I'm going to film this. I'm filming this too, the guy in front of me. We're all filming this.
Yeah.
But the other side of me thinks, what do these people think was going to happen? They booked a flight to Washington, D.C., checked into a hotel, stormed the Capitol, smashed into the Capitol, defiled the Capitol, wiped feces all over the Capitol, which is what they did, beat a man to death, 5 people are dead, put up a gallows and a noose, call for the hanging of Vice President Pence, congressional leaders, called it a revolution, and then went back to the hotel that night, checked into the hotel, went to like the hotel bar, and like, hey, high five! What a day that was! You know, like they flew to DC to go to a Washington football game or something. You know.
Yeah, but what's weird is the way they basically ushered them in and then ushered them out like they're at a concert. They didn't arrest people on the spot. They just, okay, bye. Thanks for coming. Nice long line on the way out. Thanks for stopping by. Get a selfie on your way out.
If you want to get your T-shirts on the way out, we've got merchandising out there. You can get some hot, you can get your roasted chestnuts on your way out. Take a beer on the road.
Because from what I understand, there was 0 arrests made that day. Unless you know something.
0. No, I haven't heard anything. No, and it took them going back to their home states for them to finally come and arrest them. They're back in Texas, back in Florida, back in West Virginia, and the FBI shows up at their house.
Colorado.
So they let them get on flights.
So like 5 people from the Capitol.
Others
from
hit
here
the
to
no-fly list.
They got caught.
So this impeachment drum is beating louder and louder this morning, and Senator Ben Sasse.
There's a guy that drove from here
The real question is on the Republican side. So if Vice President Pence does, in fact, call for the 25th Amendment, then we don't have to worry about going through the impeachment process. But a number of Republican senators are throwing their support behind it now. Most recently, Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska. Let's listen to Senator Sasse.
An insurrectionist mob tried to disrupt the People's House. The dome of the United States Capitol is the most powerful symbol of freedom anywhere in the world. All over the world, there's actually polling that shows when you hear freedom or liberty, the most common image that comes to anybody's mind anywhere in the world is the dome of the United States Capitol. An insurrectionist mob came and marched on that Capitol after a rally with the President of the United States where he told them to come to the Capitol and to go wild.
Yeah, we all know that. That leads to the question. Should the President of the United States be impeached or the 25th Amendment invoked?
So I think we need to draw a distinction between 2 really important things. One is the objective fact about whether or not the president was involved in signing this, and whether or not the president of the United States, by his constant addiction to stoking division, was flagrant in his duties to his oath. That's unquestionable. He was flagrantly disregarding his oath of office. So that's not in debate. The question is more of a prudential question. What is the best thing for America in 2022 or 2032? The question is what's best for Donald Trump. At a human level, lots of us should have pity for the man, but at the level of the office, I don't really care what happens to Donald Trump, the man, in 2023. What I care about is what happens to the American people in 2023. What brings 85 and 90 and 95% of our people together? The one thing that we know is that the American people rendered a judgment on Donald Trump's presidency, and they said, go now. They want him gone, and in 12 days, whatever the right math is, Joe Biden is going to be the president.
Senator Sasse, excuse me, but I'm really worried about time because I understand everything you're saying, but here we are, we sit here today, there are actually people in that crowd that think President Trump was leading them to the Capitol. I saw interviews with people saying, we're following the president. The question on the table right now is what do you think should happen to President Trump? Should there be consequences, since everybody agrees, even his closest allies agree that he has incited this? what should happen to him now? I see you dancing all around and saying,
no, I'm
that's
not dancing.
Well, just answer. Okay, I don't mean to be disrespectful.
You know I'm a fan of you and your work. I don't hear you being disrespectful.
Okay.
But I disagree with you. You said the most important question right now is what happens to Donald Trump. That's not right. The most important question is what happens to the United States people and this union 12 days and beyond. Donald Trump has acted shamefully. He has been in flagrant dereliction of his duty, and he will be remembered for having incited this and for having drawn more division into an already divided people. That is who Donald Trump is. That is what his legacy is going to be. But I disagree with you that the most important question is inside the next 12 days. The most important question is what happens to America after the next 12 days, and not just 12 weeks and 12 months from now, but 12 years from now.
And the real question, though, is, can he ever run again?
Yeah, I'd have to uninstall. I don't think I have the right to do that.
Make those adjustments. This entire process, right? I mean, this is
my next place.
That's why you would go forward with impeachment, regardless of the timeline. So again, at 2 p.m. Eastern time today is when Nancy Pelosi will caucus with the Democrats to bring up the next steps in the articles of impeachment. So we're going to be covering this for you this afternoon on our evening show as to what the Democrats say in our 4 p.m. By the way, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and follow us on Twitch, on Facebook. Be a part of our great community. We were back here at 4 p.m. Eastern with our other show, so we'll be covering that. But the real question is, President Trump, could he run again? And if he's not able to now run again because of impeachment, would he then set up this massive media empire? We'll get to that in a second. But the next step in all of this impeachment process is...
What do you make of all this, Alex?
We wrote about this morning in the newsletter, and it's interesting because now you're seeing a number of Republican senators coming forward saying that they support impeachment, and I think it comes right down to the money. Because a number of major corporations have now backpedaled and said that if any money we funneled to GOP representatives or senators, we are now pulling back on that. If you voted against President Trump's certification or President Biden's certification for president, we're pulling our money back. And that's a big deal. Now, when money talks, right? Like an armed insurrection, that's one thing. But now you're going to pull back our money? Most notably Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Senator of Missouri. All of these companies are saying, we're pulling our money from you guys. We want you to resign, get out. Will they do it? It'll be interesting to see. But, we should also pay attention to, it's a big bowl of hypocrisy right now. Because Blackstone CEO Stephen Schwarzman on Thursday said that the riot at the U.S. Capitol this week was appalling and an affront to the democratic values that we hold dear as Americans. But Schwarzman is one of just a number of GOP benefactors that are suddenly now, having a change of heart. They're pretending to be shocked. They're pretending to be outraged, right? But these are all people they've bankrolled for years. I love the hypocrisy, right? They've been funneling money to people like Ted Cruz for years. Now they're suddenly surprised. They've been funneling money to Josh Hawley for years. They're suddenly surprised. Or Kevin McCarthy. Whoa, we didn't know.
I notice how all of a sudden now it's taking a turn.
Now they get to ride out on their horse and look good, right? So in the last 24 hours, groups like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Koch Network,
I can't.
Their American
They take it out of my deposit.
Chevron,
it's not
they've all issued statements. Citibank, what am I missing? Marriott came out. They've all acknowledged the role
this
that
is all strong focus now to supporters.
Egged and fueled on this attempt to overturn the election. None of them have pledged
as you say,
the Republicans who egged on the insurrection.
When
to overturn the election. So now the question is whether
a
these
celebrity
will face any consequences for
or
their
public figure goes bad. People withdraw their sponsorship and all that.
These billionaires, they kept boosting Trump even as he continued to go after America, even as he continued to spend
all this,
for instance,
but no
who I
movement
talked about earlier.
For money yet again.
Blackstone. I talked about him in the summer too, when he was dancing on the graves of these people who basically were having their rent increased and kicked out of properties. And he was basically saying in that private call that he couldn't wait for this pandemic to continue because he at Blackstone Group was going to make a lot of money by buying up a lot of these properties from people. He was going to be super happy that you were going to be kicked out of your house. And he was also very happy to tell on the conference call that he was raising rents on poor Americans during the pandemic. That's Steve Schwarzman of Blackstone Group. He's the billionaire. He's one of Wall Street's leading donors.
We got raised. We got the
Republican
rent
machine.
raised on us throughout this. I mean,
In fact, he got himself appointed to a White House business council that shaped federal policies that affected him and his private equity firm. Does he get to walk away from this without his hands being dirty? He became the leading finance industry cheerleader for Trump's reelection. He donated $40 million into the Republican Party groups and a Trump super PAC during the 2020 election cycle. In fact, according to Bloomberg, Bloomberg reported that Schwarzenegger,
you know, you got money when you can afford to donate
accounted for the vast bulk
40
of
mil
reported contributions towards Trump's reelection efforts over the last 18 months.
We shouldn't be arguing about nothing about have and have-nots. If you can't afford to donate 40 mil, let's not argue.
His hands dirty?
It's nothing to talk about.
So now Schwartzman, even after the election, defended Donald Trump's response. And during an emergency meeting of business leaders that were alarmed by the president's nutbag claims, he even defended him then, just a few weeks ago. Bloomberg also
Do you
said
think he had a hand in it, or like it was setting him up?
On the verge of a coup. He said Trump was within, quote, was within his rights to challenge the outcome of the election.
You see, Intel says something different in the media. I know that.
Schwartzman pumped $15 million into a super PAC.
I know you don't pull from CNN and whatever.
Kelly Loeffler and David
Fox,
Perdue in Georgia,
ABC, any of them,
who had both said they would support the challenging of the Electoral College certification during their campaigns.
But I
so
mean,
all of this money, I mean, that's just one example.
We've covered that plenty of times.
That you have like a person like Steven Schwartzman or these other people who,
when you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're set up, you're set up.
Behind these people, you know, should it matter to pension funds and other investors doing business with Blackstone?
My personal opinion,
like
went too
if
far.
you knew that you were invested in your 401k or a pension fund
went too
that
far
was in a group
his
backed
effort.
by a guy like Steven Schwartzman,
when he should have put his effort towards the people, for the people, that would have affected
and raising
his people, other people would have.
Would you want your investments
secured
to this guy?
His term?
Think about it. It relies on billions of dollars of investments from state and local pension funds. So, you know,
he should have made pushes to try to do it executively.
Public workers, firefighters.
But I mean, that's the past.
Like in Pennsylvania, my home state, for instance, they paid more than $300 million of investment fees to Schwartzman's firm. So because he's managing all these pensions,
setting them up and special forces,
he's making all this money off of pensions from state and local governments.
Looking chandelier.
And how did he repay it? Oh, he repays Republican politicians
I hung up,
who tried to invalidate Pennsylvania's election. And the same thing at the federal level. These are stories. This is a story you will not see on the mainstream media. I will not see MSNBC covering this story, or CNN, because wouldn't it be nice to know their ties to these types of people? How much money has been flowing through those coffers?
The president can't pull money from the Treasury, so he exposed Congress.
That's just one of these big, you know. So when you start to follow this money from these politicians, you start to see
follow the money.
You know,
and I didn't get that from him.
When these donors are pulling the money,
you're
going to start to see a change of heart. Like Pat Toomey, for instance, who suddenly had a change of heart, and wants him gone, and thinks that he's criminal charges.
Skip Alaska says President Trump should resign. She said, quote, he's caused enough damage. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think at this point, with just a few days left, it's the best path forward, the best way to get this person in the rearview mirror for us. That could happen immediately. I'm not optimistic it will, but I do think that would be the best way forward.
The House is moving ahead with impeachment proceedings this week. Republican Senate.
Do you think that shooter recognized? Right? The guy that shot the female. You think he recognized her? He was holding his ground for the longest. maybe he himself, you know, I'm just revisiting that in thought. And it's crazy too. YouTube just sent me before I cut on the stream, YouTube sent me a notification. They took down one of my videos. What was it? You're politically dumb as fuck, shaking my head. I think that was the title of it. They took that down. And they explained to me that the reason why they took it down is because they felt that the narrative of that broadcast was pushing false narrative about Trump. Oh, it's getting political. Where are they with their bullshit? See, that shit always goes somewhere else. Let me see what's that. Copyright claims, no. YouTube. I read that shit. Alright, must be in the Gmail. I got two different emails. Is it y'all? Yeah, better not me. Yeah. Turn your auto update off your iPhone, and we'll shut off EBS. Grave circumstances. Your content has been removed from YouTube. Oh yeah, why? Hi, Grave. We wanted to let you know our team reviewed your content and we think it violates our spam deceptive practices and scam policy. We know you may not have realized that it was a violation of our policy, so we're not applying a strike to your channel. However, we have removed the following content from YouTube. Video. Y'all politically dumb as fuck. Shaking my head. We realize this may be disappointing news, but it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal this decision. You'll find more details below. What our policy says is blah, blah, blah. But the interesting point, what you can do next is blah, blah, blah. But where is it? I don't know. I don't know why I should have read this. This is what it is. It's right here. What our policy says, content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches change the outcome of the U.S. 2020 presidential election is not allowed on YouTube. Oh, yeah. Content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches changed the outcome of the U.S. 2020 presidential election is not allowed on YouTube. So, one of the things that we were listening to we were delving on is the bill that just got passed with big tech. That's them, empowering them to be able to do so. Like, you know what? Now, we don't agree with your political opinion. Nobody made any threats. They didn't say, see, they didn't cross me at the threats and none of that. Don't try to tie me into the Capitol shit. All right, no inciting riots, no, but fraud, glitches. A glitch? How are we bringing about a glitch? Are we forming our own glitch in the matrix? It all interprets to me that you can't have free opinion on politics in this country via social media. You can write it down on a sign, head down to the Capitol. I don't suggest it. Head down to your corner, the corner of your block, and protest. But there'll be none of that. There'll be no rallying. There'll be no, well, what do you think is right about the elections talk? Jesus Christ. And the funny thing, see, while they jumped up off the porch on that claim, as I recall, you know, I got the memory, minus the smoking all the weed. That has nothing to do with anything. That was an old myth. But I remember, we didn't talk anything about elections. Yeah, we didn't say a word about elections on that. Nah, that wasn't the basis of that conversation. Really wasn't. But so, you know, I do stand ground the challenge, but makes me never mind no difference. I don't erase my videos, you know, one way or another. I did one time. I dropped the entire archive. I thought it would make better for connectivity and all that. I didn't know I would be erasing all my hours that I put in. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have done it. But whatever. It's America, right? Now YouTube is taking up political points. And that's proof. Look, they amongst others banned the president. You thought I was the bandmaster. Hey, listen, they don't give a damn about the little guys unless the little guys are making too much noise. Alright? I can be harassed all damn day with glitches and errors and false accusations. But, you know, no, never mind about that. Too funny. I bet it's crossed his mind in hindsight. Oh, thanks, man. I bet it's crossed his mind in hindsight that he regrets using social media as a soundboard or an outlet. I bet he regrets that. You know, he made a point. Adam made a point. I mean, none of us have the power to get together the major networks or a broadcast system and have our voice heard right off back to everyone, with translators at the ready and all that. They're helping with the narrative. I don't know where the help is at. I can't put a face or a name to the help. You know what's funny? Universal energy. It was nothing more than a week and a half ago. I said to someone within my broadcast, it might have been that one. In fact, I said to someone said something, I forget exactly what they said, but I said to them, nah, bruh. They said something about defunding the police or something to that effect, and I was like, nah, bruh. That will ensue chaos. You ever seen chaos? You ever get a good look at chaos? You don't want to see chaos. You don't want chaos. We don't need chaos. And then less than a week later, bam, chaos. Pure chaos. That's in there. That's one of those universal moments. We was having a whole conversation. We went into depth for a little while in conversation about chaos and all that. Tattoo shop here. I've had work done through multiple shops, but I got one guy, and that's funny you ask. More universal energy. I got into a whole situation with that guy. I would give you his name. I would promote him, but I'm not gonna. I used to. I got into a whole situation with him today. No, it was the plan to expose them. That's why he has EBS, emergency broadcasting system. No, I mean helping to force false narrative along with media. Jersey Jankowski. Jolo. Fred Armor. Or more. It's good, bro. Chilling, man. Chilling. We just being down to earth people. Talking about things that might get the video removed. Because apparently we're not allowed to chop it up about politics. Ain't that something? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Let me get those 3 sevens. Jackpot. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I don't talk about politics until as of recent. I felt it was most important, pertinent, helpful for all matters. For those that don't understand politics, that need some, those that want to, express themselves in a manner. Hey, never invoked for any argument, to which we haven't had. There's been people that, had their little disgruntled moment, whatever, because of, but no fallouts. Nothing that nobody can't, walk back. But, so, in all my time, 7 years, never, ever covered politics. And at the time I do, I get a notification from them, hey. No. That's crazy. That's cool. So do I. Do tattoo work. Bit of a novice. Never put together a portfolio. Was gonna legalize it and all that. Just one of those plans that never got off the runway. Yet. I actually have my eye on a tattoo gun right now. That's why I had conversation with my tattooist here. And that was just a super colorful thing. Conversation I had today with him. And I'll leave it at that, man, because it goes so, it's an actual rabbit hole. I mean, it finalizes out with the loss of life. Another revelation today. I don't like the half-tell stories. Someone that I got into an argument with, that my tattooist knows, and he knows that they were wrong, they passed away today. But I didn't know that. And me and my tattooist got into an argument. And then I noticed later on one of his posts that that person that I had gotten into an argument with 9 years ago, kind of shit, 7 years ago, died today. So it's kind of odd. Just like I said, universal energy. It's weird you asked me who my tattooist is. No one ever asked. I've been doing this 7 years. Oh, it's cool. School's nice. Shit, I'll show you. I'll show you the sleeve. Not a problem. Predator's panel. Just got out the shower, so I need a little lotion to make it pop and all that. But the Terminator biometrics in the back. Tear up front. CPU, the CPU card, the Transformers, the Autobots, Decepticons, and readout undecided. But I still transform on you. Like I said, the Predator's panel. This is in their language. Like I dead ass. Do not want to step on my drone. Dead ass. I have to leave the room. But Lycan bullets from the underworld. Alien matter, you know what I mean? The alien implant. More biometrics at the shoulder. I forget. Okay, yeah. The honeycombing is. Remember Time Crisis? He had the suit that, you know what I mean? He could camouflage with that. That's what that is. Boom. Just for that arm. This arm, still a work in progress. Say your stepdad's been doing tattoo work since he was 15. That's good. He's got to be nice. My stepdad is 53 and still does tattoo work. I had a situation today, disarmed 2 men with guns. Wait, what? Jesus. Okay, we all got our own issues. We can talk our own politics. I hope we don't get a notice from YouTube. Okay, you guys are going too heavy on situations. We don't want real live matters being spoke about on YouTube. What? Your situation outdoes mine. I'll let you can have the mic. I'll let you take the floor. What happened there? Because what happened between me and my tattooist really just ends at the divide that is plaguing the country. I'll leave it at that. We still got a good almost 20 minutes. Finesse me another. What happened? Granddaughter took my dog out, ran and said to me, there were guys with guns. Yeah, there was a wild ass scare in the middle of the day too. Well, it was about what's supposed to go down in the inauguration. It said the attacks on all 50 states. This unnamed organization is planning. But yeah. Hey Google, play Chill Hop.
Okay, check out this Chill Hop music station on YouTube Music.
Maybe the music will soothe the savage beast. So there were guys with guns outside. I looked out. They were about 15 yards from a house. Protesters? I'm still mind buzzed that King Boss asked me that. Who's your tattoos? Who just the guy I got into a whole argument with today? Damn. That shit straight for the action reel. That's straight it's like, you know what I mean, a little scene out the movie or something. You pull the whole Clint Eastwood and shit. You say your stepdad's in Florida vacationing for the winter? It's not a bad vacation spot. Lived in Florida for a few years. But damn, is everything alright? FaceTime. He was there before the police. It just reminded me. I said that. Talking about that chaos and all that. Nah, go on, look out the window and see a mob of people with weapons, you know, headed down the street chanting shit or something. I don't really want to see that. It's not a good look. I mean, minus the chanting, you had the mob. Seemed like you caught them while they was trying to figure out what they were going to do or something. I don't know. Well, I'm glad everybody's good. Yeah. That could have went a different way. So what, they just come to their better senses or something? You had to give like some prolific speech, some coach to player speech. that seems a super tense situation. Outgunned, but you get them to disarm. Cheers, sir. I told you, you're gonna live a long time. Even though we had a heated conversation and we both have weapons, we didn't bring it to that point. My sister just now moved to Texas. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. Nah, I'm in Colorado. I'm in the Mile High City. Been to Texas. I didn't live there. I had a whole accident that almost claimed my life there. That's all I really got to say about Texas. Fort Worth, isn't that where there's been like 7 mysterious deaths, unsolved deaths, militant deaths on the military base at Fort Worth or something like that, huh? Texas. I thought those things would, be push button by now. You had to put it together? Come all in one. Fill it up with some gas or whatever. If they even still got those, they got the solar powered ones now, right? Put it short. A while back, I confronted another tattooist on his page, and he had just done the work. He did a noose on someone. And I forget my exact statement to him, whatever, but it was basically like, yo, this is fucking racist, bro. You support this shit? And his attempt at a rebuttal was, under what basis claim is a noose racist? Is promoting racism? That's why I said, yo, you promoting racism? I said something to him like that. Because me as a tattooist, you want me to draw nooses on you or anything based racially, you can get the fuck up out the chair and out the shop. You're either against it or you're an enabler. So if you're an enabler, then you're with it. You're gonna turn a blind eye for a small buck? Still got people out here. It's the only thing they have to clutch on to talk about me about. Oh, you almost died. Yeah. we had wheels and a handle to put on. Put the two roller shipping brackets. Okay, yeah. But kind of like
music with your screen lock.
I had something around like that before.
Premium. Start a
I had to
1 month free trial.
disassemble the entire cage and all that. For my small bike that I had. But so I don't know, good 7 months ago on IG, right? Seen the news. I said, yo. And this tattooist was just somebody that I was talking with about getting work from. I had never gotten work from them. We were talking about getting some work. And I seen that, and I'm like, yo, hey, what you doing? Like I said, they had a weak attempt at a rebuttal, talking about, oh, how is a noose racist? Come on, this is fucking America. We all know what the noose stands for around here. You tattoo that on a white person's skin, I don't know. It just, it just fucking yells racism. But what I didn't know, that here in Denver, and just in tattooing alone, wherever the area of tattoos are and they have conventions, a lot of tattooists, especially in the immediate area, the shops, they know each other. Many of the tattoos have worked with each other or are friends. So I didn't know. The person I checked, I didn't really give a shit, but the person I checked was a friend of my tattoos. So I'm knocking at the door of my tattoos. Yo, what's up, man? Let's get some work done. No response. And in tattooing, that's common. You go to make an appointment, you schedule an appointment, and they might have did something else. Oh, damn, my bad. Hey, reschedule. Shuffle you around. Buddy wasn't responding to the text. Y'all know me, I respond to the text until there's nothing for us to be talking about. But texting Buddy, I get no response. He's posting up on his page, hey, DM me if you want to get work. Okay. DM you again. No response. No. Okay. Then I just confronted him. I see you like Buddy's work and y'all friends, so you shunning me out because I put him in place. Well, let me put you in place too. So that took place. That took place today. But, like I said, it got colorful. But look, it's Monday. At the end of Monday, we made it through Monday. And every day, thus far for this year, beginning of this year, has been something different for all of us overall. For me, it was nothing. I wouldn't even have spoken about it. I wouldn't even said anything. If King Boss didn't ask me, who's your tattooist? But use universal energy and it's all good. But you can imagine someone that, you've put thousands of dollars in their pocket, how that conversation might go over, you know what I mean? Check out my friend's tattoo page, Skyin Graphics Tattoos. I'm done. And that's my 2 cents over 2 hours. I'll finish out this blunt with y'all. And I'm done. Funny thing. My tattooist. First part of his name is Sky. The tattoo page is Skying. First part of his name is Sky. It's Sky and then another name. Like I said, I'm not going to promote him. Hey. Just the raw universal energy in that. So I'll remember that. It's pretty easy. Sky and graphics tattoos. Friend Roy travels to do tattoos. Again, it's chaotic times. So I guess the only direction to head in is the one that keeps you safe. Yeah. YouTube don't want us to get too political on matters with the presidential election or whatever. Yeah, you're kidding me. I'm still dead off of that. That's the claim that they took. But the presidential elections had already happened. They've been happening. Are they talking about this late shit? Yeah. And then so now, technically, is it okay for us to talk about the matter? Or should we wait another 11 days? Right? Is it down to 11 days? I got a few things in the works. YouTube can do what they want. That's good. Prayers up for my sis, who y'all know his girl got game. She fighting that Rona right now. I know, from the beginning of last year, 3 months in when I was saying, yo, it's been 90 days, how many people do you know with it? Yeah, well now, I know a good solid 5 people dealing with it as we speak. Okay, yeah, I was thinking PC. Like, I don't have a computer. I got a computer, but yeah, party chat. Yeah, bro. Yeah, she told me earlier today. I tried to tell her to go and, get the vaccine. She said, hell no. Go to sleep, conserve your energy, I mean, I've got people that have fought and through it. And I've got people I haven't heard from. So while it's a new year, the bullshit is not over. No. I can already start feeling like, yeah, I survived week 1 of 2021. Yeah, that one threw me for a loop. That one threw me for a definite loop. I wasn't ready for that. Still trying to figure out what's going on with Unique. Heard from a few weeks back, but that's been that. Like, aside from yourself and Muya the Don and Tyson, because I just handed out some new wrenches. There's 2 of them. Some cool shit. All my moderators have come down with some serious situations. Like, fuck. Shaman came down with a health issue. You had to scare with your lady. Sis, Unique. Like I said, and aside from Tyson and Muya Don, I mean, Frida's fine. Frida Bailey, First Lady of the Trill group. She's fine. I'm in contact with her every day on IG. One day at a time is how I roll anymore. But is it? One day at a time is how I roll. Jackpot. Split second. I know I missed it. Don't say nothing. Let me get it. For my stepdad, tattoo pages. See my mom with margaritas. What platform is that on? That's on IG. I'd like to see their work. You say your dad's 52 and he's been tattooing since he's 15. I'd like to see his work, definitely. He's still tattooing. Your mom's birthday is Wednesday. You kind of don't want to see it.
Personal guide to the world of indie music.
And see your mom, man.
YouTube Music Premium today.
Happy birthday to her in advance. I don't know nothing about her. I don't know anything about y'all relations. I don't think there's enough time left in the blunt for that. But if there's something there worth to value, then value it. I feel like I missed the comment. Oh, that was a misread on my behalf. I read the comment, but I thought that statement came from King Boss. That was you that said that, Alexander, about your mom. And I'm like, I don't know the relationship between your mom. I thought he said that. Okay. Reread. Right. I understand. You know, this this corona, COVID, whatever you want to call it, that's the whole thing. Exposure. Hours. And I bet you're tormented because, you know, you want to help somebody to help to get better. But at the same time, you don't want to worsen their condition or even put them at risk. Yeah, I asked the girl got game, you know, what happened? And she said due to her exposure, her job. We have the same jobs, similar jobs. Interaction, constant interaction with different people. Right. She was cool 2 days before. And there's no question about it. She took the test and everything, came back positive. I mean, unless she got what your wife did, but she didn't. She 3-4 symptoms she was already dealing with. She was telling me. So, yeah, day by day, and staying safe is really a thing that needs to be taken to extremities. You know, on one hand, it's like we're all fighting to want to go back to normality or what was or whatever. And no matter what situation, we want that return. But you have to think that, you know, that comes at what cost? I've had my prayers answered up to this point thus far. I don't want to experience physically any of that shit. I heard about the symptoms, all that. I don't know, maybe I had it and I'm that healthy that it was just like a mere cold to me or some shit. I don't know. I didn't take the test. I don't want to know. Like when they came out with AIDS, I wasn't in a rush standing in line waiting to find out if, you know, I had AIDS or not. I eventually took, you know, the AIDS test, but yeah, it's just nothing I'm pushing anybody out of line to find out. I know if I'm sick or I'm not. I know that fucking much, and I know the symptoms that they say, you know, are acquainted or carried with the virus. So. Celebrate that. Is that your wife you're talking about? No. If any wife we were talking about his wife. Alexander's wife. At some point. Well, I'm talking about my friends who have come down with COVID. And the fact that I don't want to catch it. My wife, I also pray for her. She has. That blessing's been answered daily. Me and my family, to the best of our knowledge, have not contracted it, or we are asymptomatic, all of us, or something or the other. I don't know, but we're all good. That's a blessing that I count every day. Where she goes, it's more concentrated. It's the same people, and they have method similar to a hospital of desanitization within their faculty 3 times throughout the day, every day. So that's worked thus far. But yeah, day to day, like I said, glad to have made it to the end of the day. We'll all be faced with challenges. It's a new year. We were all faced with challenges last year. I can't tell you what's gonna happen. Like I said, things are chaotic. All I can tell you is to make things happen for yourself in a positive manner.
Your personal guide to the world of K-pop. Sign up for
No matter what
YouTube
your
Music
color,
Premium
your
with 1 free
age,
month.
your sex, your race, self-sustaining should be within your New Year's resolution. If you might have forgotten, I know there's a lot been going on. And you may not be about New Year's resolutions, but it might be the time to, be about them. Maybe you didn't take time to think about them. Put self-sustaining on there. Focusing better than you did last year. Warriors live to fight another day. We got this. I mean, it's either that or absolute destruction of everything. And while like 35 to 40% of everything is damn near fucking gone, these things can be brought back. You know, there's always room for changes. You know, we just have to collectively have that will. When there's a will, there's a way. We have to collectively have that will. Shit I've been saying for years. I get tired of hearing myself repeat it. And then I do what I do. Go for self. And care about those in my immediate circle as well, but more so, yeah, go for self. I'll always give you out a good word. I won't lead you down the wrong path. If we're it wrongs and you're trying to ruin me or bring me harm, well, on guard. But yeah, my sister's boyfriend caught her from work, who I refer to as my sis, caught her from work. You know, to attempt to carry on joyously would be turning a blind eye to reality. Yeah, you still have to keep your joy. You still have to find things to be uplifted about and uplift others, in addition to dealing with reality, you know. Multitasking is at an all-time high for people. And finding your balance might be one of the, most difficult things to do, to obtain, especially with, things just where they are. When this first started, some people foresaw where this would end up, but most didn't. Most figured, cold, bad, the flu, a bad variation of the flu. Come on, you kidding me? I'm not worried. It is serious. My personal beliefs that it was intentionally released. And it has made the rich richer and the poor poorer. Again, like I was joking earlier, if you can't donate $40 million to a cause, donate. You ain't making no money. You ain't making no real money. Now, come on. If you can't donate $40 million to somebody's cause, then, let's be serious. Nah, we looking to win and hit the lottery for 40 mil. More than that, but that would suffice for many of us. I don't know. And the only thing I proclaim to know is what I do know. Life is filled with challenges. And right now, more than ever, in record numbers, we all have that commonality. For me, 2:32. That's why I like start my streams at midnight, because I can look up at the stream time and it's the same time that I'm at. 2:23, only 4 minutes off. And I'm shutting it down at 3. But I said the beginning when the shit happened, people should conserve their energies, focus more, put their petty issues and bickering to the side, because there's, you know, a bigger picture to pay attention to and be a part of. This is history unraveling into the making. We are all a part of it. You might have low self-esteem, but believe it, you're a historian right now. .432, you're on the East Coast. That's where I'm from, man. And I'm normally up at this time, at that time, back on the East Coast. Anyway, I don't have the banner graveyard for nothing. It was originated off of graveyard shift from 12 to 8, 12 to 9. Many jobs I've had, I've worked those hours, so it's nothing to me. And find things to be a lot more, I don't know, cohesive, cool. 3:32 for between. Hey, it's 1:34 over there in California, and just 12:34 in Hawaii. All good times, all good times. Yeah. Now, as far as Europe goes, they're up early. They got their crumpets and whatnot. Just some dude, they just plugged in their keyboard. They're ready to go. But back to the common denominator that we all share, which is survival, right? Yeah. Now, it's a graveyard shift. I've never actually worked at a graveyard. What's up, bro? Greetings from Sweden. The Magnifico. Welcome. Hate to do so, but that's what I'm about to do. I mean, unless we finna have some all-night, long, explicit conversation that YouTube's gonna ban us for anyway, I gotta get some blunts. I'm finna shut the door. It ain't nothing but Monday. We got 6 more days. Hit the little heart, show a little love, get a lot of return. Hopefully, my obsessors aren't fighting over my network and connectivity. You'll get the notification when we go live. We can continue conversations and vibes like these to help keep each other, you know, afloat, sharp, aware. I ain't got a problem with that though. Just saying things that I feel need to be heard. In addition to those things, all of you, stay safe, stay smart, and stay up. I'll catch you all on the next one. All right. Have a good night. Peace. Yes, it's the night shift. What is the graveyard shift? It's the night shift. It's the third shift of the workforce. You have the morning shift, the afternoon. It's the fourth. The afternoon, the evening, and then the graveyard shift. All right? See, we're all about learning. Peace, people.